Okay, front clips off. We've got all kinds of goodies in here. The tried and true electrical duct tape. It's not too dark, Jesus. Yeah. So he didn't even hook the fog lights up. I don't know why you would bother buying the French fogs and not connecting them. I think maybe he tried to at one point, but there's a lot of fun stuff in here. Like probably put your headlights on relays, it makes them brighter. Yeah, well, connecting your things and not having them be loose makes them brighter too. So we got a little bit of tearing out to do, but I really want to still try to start it today. Okay, so we cleaned up all the wire ends, stripped them back so they weren't oxidized, connected everything, and if it doesn't turn this time, it's just not going to. So hopefully it doesn't spray too much coolant everywhere, but it's pavement, we can clean it up. Oh, come on. You want to? You just need fuel. You just need some fuel. Fuel. Or the pump even works. Okay, got a little starting fluid in this time. It's just not getting gas. I don't know how much I really want to goof with making a 16 valve start that I'm going to throw away. So I think that's good enough for me. It makes me feel like I'm not a crazy person. It was just piss poor wiring by the previous owner that we're going to have to chop up and fix. But I think we're going to use as much wiring as possible from the Mark IV. The only things I'm hoping to do is just take like, oh, here's lights, plug those into the Mark IV's fuse box, or splice everything together under the dash. We'll see how it goes, but in the beginning we should be able to have an engine sitting in here with all its guts hanging out on the floor and start it without even any wiring going into the car. At least that's the plan. A little sanity check along the way, and this is all the coolant that came out, so he sure didn't have much left. So I don't know that it's really worth pulling that thing apart, but we will anyway, because I want to keep the head at a minimum. I might keep the block, but we'll check. I think this is a 2-liter, but it was a Mark II 2-liter, so I don't think it has piston cooling jets, whereas the OBD1 Mark III motors, I think 94 and 95 or 93 to 95, I don't remember, but there's a 2-liter bottom end that has piston cooling jets as part of the block, and it comes with a forged crank and a bunch of other good parts. And so the fun part is you put the 16 valve head on that 8 valve bottom end and have a go quick motor, and these things can rev to the moon if you put solid lifters in them. So maybe we'll hang on to some more parts. Okay, and here's the part for me. Big boy goes to the top hose. So this top hose is feed, this one's return. Probably use the gas tank, we'll just have to flush it out. And then if well, we'll have to see what's going on in there. At least then I can leave that sending unit, things like that. I don't have to look for a diesel tank. And I don't remember if these have these have an in-tank pump, but you can, I'll just throw a regulator in between those two lines and run like 2 psi up to the diesel's pump, and then I have a lift pump without having to buy one. So win-win. I'll just have to take, there's probably a filter in front of that rear tire that I'll have to take out because it'll clog up if you use that with diesel. Okay, so started pulling the exhaust because it's that and mounts. I think we can start yanking this out, but it's separated enough that right here we'll just pull it all out and deal with the rusty stuff. But look at this. There's a hole in the floor. It's carpet. What it looks like someone did the normal mistake. They just jammed the jack underneath the car. They crushed this up and it peeled apart. So hopefully, it's gross, but we'll do something about this after the engine's in while the interior's apart. So minimals to get it going, then we'll think about fixing it nicer later down the road. See, it's easy. Some of the angles, my God. So I ended up cutting the pipe here where it was already separating, thinking, you know, I'll keep the downpipe intact, but now I don't understand why. Because I'm never going to use this downpipe. I'm never going to use that manifold. I'm going to keep the head. If it goes in the car, it's going to get a turbo. So, yeah, you live and you learn, right? But those flanges like to catch right about there. I got some spillage to clean up today. And then we'll pull a bunch of these wires. It looks like air conditioner's not even inside, I don't think. Oh, he caught it. Oh, that bastard. So, yeah, they just cut him. That's too bad. I was thinking about hooking AC up. Maybe I still can, but it's not a priority, I guess. At least the heater still exists. But a lot of this wiring can just go. Anything that attached to the engine can go, because we're going to use as much as we can out of Mark IV anyway. And then things like lights, we just need the pigtails, because we can use the harness from that car as well. Just hook everything through that. Junk as much of the old crusty wiring that, you know, who the hell knows what's going on with some of this stuff. Just get rid of it and put in things that we know work. So they said you can't neuter these cars, but it's got its balls. It's got its balls right here. So I'm in here just kind of pulling things out, and I finally found something in a Volkswagen. I was like, what the fuck is this? Pull this little dingus out. I've never seen it before. I haven't done a lot of interior stuff, just engine stuff. But it's got a little flappy, and I gotta imagine that it's so if if the heater box gets full of coolant or some air conditioning fluid, well, that stuff just evaporates. But you know, if something gets in there, this drains it out so it doesn't get all over your carpet. That's my best guess. So we'll find out when we pull the dash out for sure. Okay, it's getting there. We're gonna make this a stop point for tonight, at least outside. I'd really like to pull the trans off that in the manifold to get it up on the stand and get it out of the way. Because one of the things we'll have to look at is this mount. There's supposed to be those 4 bolts on my block on the ALH. That people say that the turbo is in the way. My turbo is not the same size as the stock one, so maybe it won't be in the way, or maybe it'll be more in the way. Who knows? The alternative here, so we have this end, right, top of that, bolts into this guy, that bolts into that. So I think that if I have to make my own mount, it's not going to be that bad. We'll find out. Maybe it'll just work out. Okay, engine's on the stand like I wanted. I'll need to pull this exhaust off so it doesn't have its big boner hanging off the end. It'll just take up less space, and then when we have downtime waiting for parts or whatever, we can kind of tear this thing apart and give us something to do. And then all of the wiring that goes through the firewall is just hanging disconnected, ready to be pulled through. And tomorrow, when I'm all clean, fresh in the morning, we'll start peeling the interior, get the seats out, get the dashboard out. I thought about leaving the seats in, but it's like I just get too dirty. It's not worth screwing the seats up, so I'll pull them out, figure out a spot. Maybe I'll put them in the basement, you know, somewhere safe where they're not going to get all ripped up. And then tomorrow we'll also take a power washer to this thing, because I just want to see what's going on. It'll probably be worth hitting some spots, at least with pour 15. It might not be pretty, but cover up some of that rust, keep it from spreading. I'm really curious down here, because that sure looks like somebody welded it. That doesn't, like, this weld isn't exactly pretty, and it's better than mine, right? But that looks like somebody has been in there. And I wonder if they screwed up that bolt and they had to cut the thing out and put it back together. It's probably strong enough, but we'll at least want to keep it from rusting more. Another thing to note, I need a boot, right? Nothing's bad, but this is a manual rack. I thought that he just disconnected the hoses and looped them, but it looks like somebody actually put the manual steering rack in this car. So that's pretty cool. So no power steering, no AC. We might have to buy a pulley for the other car, so I'm not just lugging around extra stuff that'll never get hooked up. We'll see. But besides power washing the engine bay, maybe there's some other stuff. I gotta do some carpets. I'm gonna need to power wash that mop and I want to clean the bricks and the grill surface from inside the smoker and scrape some of the drippings out of the bottom, get it all cleaned up ready for summer, and then we can smoke some meat. Which reminds me, I owe a meat update, so let me run to the basement and grab a quick bubbly clip. So here it looks. This is the one I think we started on the 9th, right? So it's probably, well, I don't remember what day it is today, but you're looking at 9 or 10 days old now. It's all foamy at the top. You're starting to get some dead yeast at the bottom, or however that works. And then here's the bubbler, the boop, mixed bubble. So bubbles are good. It means it's fermenting. It's doing its thing. I had one of the March ones the other day, because you got to make sure they're still good, right? And it was pretty good. So, yep. And then cleaned up these bottles, and I'll re-sanitize them before they go in. Other than that, pretty good day. We'll do another one tomorrow. See how far we get with that interior.